Yo, welcome back to another video. This time we have a very interesting video concept brought to you by Shister, who put in all the effort to actually make this tier list. But yes, today we are ranking shitmons from tier 5 Pokemon, which means like, come on VR Council, get this on the fucking VR, you dumbasses. Ignore the fact that I'm on the VR Council. Okay, then Certified Aragon Classic, otherwise known as a tier below. Good niche.
A tier of bonds that have been brought to tours and won under Aragon's name.
That's like, I might bring in the future, you never know. Okay, good niche. This is like usable, but like, this is like the things you'll find in like the depths of like someone's team builder. Like they never brought it, but they thought about it. And then we have Arctic Blast Bait, which, as the name suggests, is just like Pokemon you'd expect like a new player to come into Smogon Double's room on Pokemon Showdown and be like, yo, rank my team. And then there's like Squawk ability, hyper offense with Oranguru. So like, that kind of shit. And then we have Worry Whirl, which is just Worry Whirl. And then this is just like, we need to ban you from Smogon. This is like, what are you doing here? Alright. So starting off, we have Altaria. I have brought this before, but I'm not sure if it's good enough to qualify for Certified Aragon Classic. Like, this is like...
Its time has come and gone.
Yeah, it's like... I brought it in another Renegade. I feel like... You know what? I'm going to change Good Niche to Small Niche. And that's where this goes. It has Cloud9. It can do some funny stuff with Tailwinds. Bulky Tailwind Center. The stats are honestly, like, not too bad. Let's see. Yeah, you have Cloud9, Tailwind. It's really bulky Wisp-Mon. It's also kind of nice.
Really, I think like, it doesn't have to use those attack stats. It has Haze. That's actually a big move to have.
Yeah, it has some good moveful options, but it's kind of like a mon that just sits on the field. But it's like, if you're like, yo, let me totally beat every weather team in existence, then you run this. So like, fair enough. All right, Araquanid.
This isn't really a bad mon, but I can't call it.
I almost want to call it like a tier 5 mon, but I don't think it's like that good. But it's definitely like, it's between these two tiers, I think.
I could see you bringing this at some point.
Yeah,
it's good enough.
I'll put it in. It's better than Altaria. Yeah. No, I forgot to mention earlier, I am joined by Shister and Ray, so yeah. Bro, did you get Primeape on this, by the way? Put Primeape on it. Hold on.
It's in here somewhere.
I bet. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. Arcanine. Bro, this is like...
This is like outclassed Central.
If you were in a challenge to find a Pokemon that was outclassed by the largest number of Pokemon, this would be like pretty up there. So I want to put this in Arctic Blast Bait. Because like the mod is like not that bad, but like it's not that good. You should be using like something else instead. Like there's literally like a rock type Arcanine that like Oko's for you.
It's just a better. It's just a better Arcanine.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just like there's better Arcanine. There's a better Fire type E-Speed. Like it's just not there anymore.
Yeah, I agree. All right.
Wait.
Ariados.
You still have your Ariados team?
That's a good question. I don't think so. Let me try to figure out what it was. Because I remember there was like a funny way to run it, and I wasn't even running the funny thing. I think I was running like Focus Energy Sniper.
Yes, you were using Focus Energy Sniper. You completely ignored stuff like String Shot, Sticky Web on this thing.
This is like...
I would be very concerned if I saw this on a team.
This is like not even Arctic Blast bait because like if Arctic Blast
This
sees
is
this
not.
game, he's not even gonna respond. He's just gonna be like, no. So like, yeah. Alright. Armarouge?
This is a true Laddermon.
Almost Arctic Blast bait, but it's also like not a bad one, it's just like slightly outclassed by other stuff. Like it's like the best fire type expanding force mod. I feel like we can justify this in small niche.
Small niche.
Yeah.
It's not even entirely outclassed like some other mons that we're gonna see in this list. It's definitely got its thing. It's also got incredible bait potential for ladder players to try to make it work a little too hard.
Yeah, I agree. Articuno.
Can we change the color of the Worry World tier? It's bothering me that there's 2 blue tiers.
Blue?
And 2 red tiers. Make it
Blue?
blue. My brain may be fried from working on this tier list for like 2 hours.
I appreciate the effort. Alright, Articuno. You know what? I could legitimately see myself bringing this, and it has enough stats, and like I've seen success in VGC, so like this is. I
It's
feel like
seeing so much.
This is like here, like
It's either there or even tier 5 because I've been seeing a lot of DOU teams starting to run this because of VGC's success.
Alright,
I don't. It hasn't. It hasn't been proven yet, but it could go that high if we see this trend continue.
This is better than Araquanid. I'll put it in tier 5.
Another thing to consider as well is just like with the fact that Archaludon's such a big thing in the, at least in my experience right now with DOU, like how big Archaludon's been.
Yeah.
I think that Articuno, just knowing other Weather Wars would work well into what the meta has currently become.
Yeah, it's pretty decent into rain teams, I think. Like, it can honestly, like, hit Duraludon Mega pretty hard, so... yeah. Alright. Azelf? Man. This is, for context, this is, like, my original favorite Pokemon. But, like...
This is the mon that Arion has tried the hardest to make work in this gen.
It just doesn't work. It's not like Ariados level bad, but it's like worse than Arcanine.
It's that its stats are just not optimized well enough.
Yeah, it's just too frail, and it doesn't. And it has mixed attacker syndrome. It's like Iron Valiant, kind of, but worse than Iron Valiant. All right, let's see. What do we have next here? Azumarill.
Bunny.
It's a water type. Water types are like not that bad. I'll put it in Certified Aragon Classic.
I mean,
water types
fairy, rain is relatively prevalent. I think the main things holding it back are like Rilla, Incin, and Arc, which is unfortunately like the 3 best mons.
Ogerpon as well.
Ogerpon single-handedly holds down all water types that don't have some kind of god complex.
Yeah, I think it's like this is a good one. Like fundamentally, the typing's decent. Honestly, I think we should see more use of this. Like, the typing is quite valuable. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this at some point. Granted, we have, like, 2 years between this Pokemon. 2 years before, maybe even 3 years before the next, like, dumbass Pokemon game comes out where they reveal Fluttermane Mega, so... For now,
if you recall, ESM did bring this mon in World Cup for our team.
Oh, that one time? Hold on.
Yeah, it did its job. I don't remember who the opponent was. I don't even know if the replay is still saved because I think it was like right before that whole replay exodus happened.
No, it's this one.
Oh.
I recognize Dolphin VGC.
Hey, we have another funny mon on this list here.
Yep. Bro.
Oh my goodness. Just for everyone watching, this is going to be a long video. There's 163 Pokemon to rank.
High quality. Oh my goodness. What did Azumarill actually do anything in this game? Or did Lurantis just run away with it? Oh? 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 Okay. I mean, it could be worse.
Take two. Take two.
Bye.
Yay!
Oh my goodness. I think this Pokemon
You
is like
contributed.
it hits hard enough where like I definitely feel like it should see some use. Yeah, I'll put it in classic. I don't think it's like tier 5, but like really I could think of like a lot worse Pokemon. Such as Hugo's favorite. And you know what? Just to make Hugo click the angry act on the video, if he ever watches it, I'm moving it down to comma. Yeah.
You can put a tier below that called Hugo if you really wanna.
Oh yeah, facts. Hold on. That didn't work. But alright, Hugo tier. Okay, this can't be like that low, but like okay, Bisharp. I don't know. I feel like this is Arctic Blast bait.
I would say that too. I mean, the problem is primarily that since we're talking about DOU here, King Gambit is always better.
Yeah. You just don't have enough HP stat to really capitalize on the Violet boost with this mon. It does do like a couple funny things, but without knockoff, King Gambit's really just better in every way. The stats are just
isn't the Eviolite boost also only like barely higher than King Gambit stats anyways?
Yes, that as well.
Yeah. It's decently higher with the defense stat. Like it's higher, but it doesn't offset the HP enough.
Well, you're dealing with like yeah.
Maybe
the HP gap is just too much.
Maybe in some weird part of the metagame where you put Force Speed on it and put this on a Tailwind team, since the speed stat is higher, and then it's outspeeding most mons with Tailwind. Maybe? Bisharp, historically not a bad Pokemon, but he's not a king.
Yeah, facts. He's just a bishop. He could only move diagonally, you know? Alright. Blastoise. Now, here we have the saddest Pokemon of all time. This Pokemon is like, it just lost like all the things that made it usable. Like
by all the things, the one thing.
Yeah, by all the things I just mean follow me. Like this still has like stats, but like
this guy lost follow me.
I need to put it below Arcanine, which unfortunately means it belongs with Ariados.
I would be very concerned if I saw Blastoise on a team.
Blaziken, this thing actually did see a couple use cases. I think Z had a team with it, but it never really impressed me that much. So I'm gonna put it in small niche. Like it's a decent coaching mod. Has speed boost, but like I think it's a tier below like these guys, if that makes sense.
Who knows? Maybe my next speed boost team uses Blaziken instead of a Spathra.
Bro, you are not cooking with this guy, bro. You are just, bro. Why does he have 110 special attack? Just why? Why? Bro, what are we doing here? Like, it's actually quite a lot of removal. I'm slightly concerned.
Yeah, it has a lot of great stuff for supporting. You just put the Focus Sash on it, you get a little bit of utility, and you actually have very strong moves to hit with.
Yeah. It's alright. Alright, Blissey.
There is a niche.
Hugo and I use this on Fake Stall.
You can bring Chansey over as well, since Chansey's in the top row here. Although you have used this mon.
I think this mod is like slightly better because like it at least has a little bit of defense, right? With a Violet, so it's like not. It's not the worst Pokemon. It also has like tools like Heal Bell. Realistically, these two are
It-
probably pretty close, but I think Chansey's better just because like this mon doesn't have any way to like not die to anything physical. So
This man Aragon brought Chansey with Heal Pulse, Soft Boiled, and Heal Bell, and didn't realize that it was just 3 moves for the 1 slot that Lunar Blessing has on Cresselia.
stop. Just no. It was calculated. It was calculated.
It was calculated. I don't
Surely
even
the
remember
replay
who the
is not
opponent
dead.
was.
Surely the replay is not dead. The replay is definitely dead. But I do feel like it can do a few things. I don't know. It's not that bad. Alright. Why isn't Cress on here, by the way? Okay. Bombirdier. You know what? There's only one solution to this problem.
Is Ray the reason you brought this mon?
Bro, yeah, no. So this is like my entrance into DOU thing. Like we had a joke about Bombirdier being funny because of the fact that Rocky payload was similar to Regieleki, to like Gen 8 Regieleki.
As long as you carry it. Isn't that one of the best turrets in the game?
We were just messing around. It was also early SB. It was a lot of like just me messing around back then.
It's a fun mod. It has like it has knockoff.
I
And
can
it's
say that
decently
it's
hard.
actually surprisingly decent. But unfortunately, that was at the start of the metagame.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's not going to do anything.
Yeah. It was like
Too many things working against it.
it's kind of funny because it's like it does more damage than it should, and and it also has like surprisingly high bulk. Like
70,
you could
85,
just-
85
it's not
is
bad.
fine.
Yeah, and so you would do stuff like this.
This mod has a strong identity and not enough stat line problem that we will see with a lot of mons on this list.
Like this is decent because you can pick off Torn and stuff. But overall, it really just like it's not that guy, unfortunately.
Needs more stat.
Yeah. But it's like not bad. If I had to like actually put this, I wouldn't put it in Worry Whirl. I'd put it slightly higher, just because I've actually seen like it do some things. But this was just like memes. This is the meme tier. All right, Brambleghast. There are a lot better grass types, so I don't really want to put it in tier 5 mod, but I feel like it belongs in this tier.
Yeah, I would say either plastic or small niche. Because let's be real, it's Bramble nowadays is much worse off just on account of the fact that water types are non-existent and Ensign. So.
Oh yeah, it's so bad into Instant. That's a good catch. Yeah.
Well, it's
It's
also not
worse
good
off
into it's also really bad into Archelodon too.
Oh yeah, that's like a negative matchup.
We've went from a shift where all the fire types were clicking Heat Wave as their fire move to stuff like Flare Blitz and Heat Crash on a certain mon.
Yeah.
A lot more physical
matchup.
fires that can actually whack it. But that said, this thing can auto-win some matchups. This thing is so dumb.
Yeah,
I think
why
it's
argue
almost
like
better than these two. I think it's better than these two, actually. I think it's like
It's one of the
definitely more useful than the other two on account of the fact that just if you know what you're doing when you're using Bramble, at least if you're being a decent player with the Brambleghast, they'll always enter in with the attack boost, and its attack is actually surprisingly decent.
it actually hits pretty hard, but it has only a few targets it can actually hit.
Yeah, it's just the problem is like originally you would play this as a Pokemon that could actually potentially sweep, but nowadays it's more of a cleanup. And it's typically at that point in the game, there's a lot more other options that are just straight up better.
I wonder if a set like this could be interesting at some point. I don't know. Because you could like...
also it's only physical graphics that's actually good being power whip is another negative.
Yeah, that's pretty bad as well. This is a mon that needs high base power moves, so it can't get away with stuff like Seed Bomb or whatever. Alright.
Power Whip isn't that bad.
It's not that bad, but it's like, I don't like that move. Alright, Breloom?
You remember the days
Me?
when this was all over ladder?
I feel like this, yeah, I do. I feel like this belongs in Arctic Blast bait. Arctic Blast
I still remember.
is like
I
a
still
combination...
remember the freaking singles memes.
The Arctic Blast bait is like a combination of like pre-home mons and then just like bad Pokemon. Alright. Bronzong? Oh man, there's a lot here. Bronzong is like, it's aight. It's aight. It's a decent Trick Room setter. Like, heat proof and levitate is actually can cut off one of your weaknesses. Levitate's usually better, probably in this metagame in particular, but it's like not a bad Trick Room setter. It can also click Argent. Act had a good team with this one a while back.
Chansey brought it today.
Oh really?
Literally today.
Damn.
Yeah, brought it versus Z. It almost won the game.
As far as I'm aware, Bronzong actually is actually more of a sleeper pick when it comes to Trick Room setters. It's kind of niche since, again, Incin is pretty, it's pretty annoying.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Bronzong also, I personally always remember Bronzong as that one Pokemon, like, that one Steel type that spams Rain Dance whenever it can. Yeah. So you could run it on, like, Trick Room Arc and whatnot, so.
Well, that's actually interesting. I could get behind that. I think this one's not bad. It's like, I think Armarouge and this guy are like pretty close. Like, you can block both of them. Bonnet.
UU players quaking.
It's like how decent. I think this is a small niche one.
Definitely small niche. I've seen several times where Brute Bonnets with Proto Attack have one-shotted something. I swear to God that it shouldn't have.
This thing hurts on Sun teams. This thing has two niches that I think are really funny. There's Turbo Shroom on Tailwind, where you just max its speed out and spore shit, which is really fun, and it's an active threat, unlike a Mungus. And the other thing is, you could just run full Sunroom teams with this thing getting like max attack and blowing shit up with like Close Combat, Crunch, Sucker, Seed Bomb.
I cannot tell you how many times I've run into a Brute Bonnet on ladder and just completely underestimated how much damage it would do. It is really dumb. It does way more damage than you'd expect just because you both don't see it very often, and also, of course, you just think Among Us clone, and it,
Yeah. This is like, this could move up to this could move up to classic if Shister ever convinces me to run it, but for now it's small niche in my opinion.
Definitely.
Alright. Ceruledge.
The cheesin' one.
It's facts.
Yo, we all love our ghost monotype teams.
That's the wrong one.
Ceruledge is a guy. It does its job. It has a surprisingly nice stat line for what it does.
I would
and
say
a good
it's a bit
pool.
I would say its stat line is a bit too tame, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's just not high enough. But Bitterblade is a great move for a mon that wants to click Bulk Up and has Flash Fire as an option, as an ability with Terra around.
Fair.
It can cause damage.
Not to mention, with coaching around nowadays, you can also run it. You can also run it with coaching alongside it in a variety of teams to run effectively the same set, but instead have another coverage move for stuff like Incin.
You should go to the builder and look at this mon's move pool real quick. You'll see some insane things that you will not expect.
Another thing to consider as well is Flash Fire. So if you're able to read your opponent, you can always also push it in on an instant and then just hit it with like a Brick Break or something.
Like, this thing has Clear Smog, Close Combat, it's got Disable, Bulk Up.
Oh, that's Close Combat? I didn't know that.
It's
Yeah.
got Wisp. Its move pool is just all over the place with weird stuff that you can probably find uses for if you really feel like this mon is just cool
Larger-
enough aesthetically to run.
I mean, the one major problem I see with it is that it's large move pool, but not great defensive typing. So you very linear in the way that it looks like it normally would play.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is Arctic
Luck-
Blast bait. This is like a pre-home one that you can run, but like it's not that good. Like I don't know. I wouldn't support a teammate bringing this mon, if that makes sense. All right.
Yeah.
Cyclizar.
I don't think I've seen a single Cyclizar the entire time I've played SVDOU.
It's been a few months since I've seen this guy.
I think
This guy does one thing. It does one
This is
thing.
like a Pokemon that has potential to make some people very upset, and thus it goes to the comment. Okay.
I just think its offensive stat line is like so bad that all it can do is Shed Tail with Regenerator.
Yeah. It also has hazard control, but if your opponent doesn't have hazards with Pokemon, it's like only one reason for existing, and you can shut it down very quickly. That wants to run like 5 different items: Cloak, Mental Herb, like Citrus Berry. Run all of them.
I mean, its speed set isn't even all that crazy now with Tornado with Cranks of Tailwind everywhere too. So
Shout out to Cyclizar for being one of 3 Pokemon in the game with a use for Temper Flare.
No shot. Why does it learn that?
It's its best fire type physical move, which pairs well with Giftier that it has. Which is a set that you may run if you feel like being an insane person. Because you get to hit
be
Steel
that
type.
one guy on ladder in the past out of the past like year that's actually decided to think about Cyclizar.
This is
Cetitan?
Clefairy.
Yeah. Cetitan, this
I would
is
call
like...
this. I would call this like. Oh really? I would call it like between Small Nation Bait because I've seen this one still do stuff nowadays. Due to again Weather Wars deal, but I think it's okay. Not like consistent.
The point that I'll grant to Titan is that it actually has enough bulk to be like one of 3 mons in the whole gen that can click Belly Drum and get away with it. The other 2 being maybe Snorlax and Iron Hands. But this guy actually has Slush Rush to get bypassed its low speed. So if you get that Belly Drum up, it can actually just win games. So it does have a purpose.
Not to mention also
okay, I'll put it in
kind
bottom of 8.
Yeah, not to mention the other deal with it being the fact that you're running Snow, it's going to get the defense boost, and it also has access to Aurora Veil on your team. So a lot of bulky setup options alongside it.
I think it's mostly outclassed by the other Snow abusers, but I think it's the best Slush Rush mod. I should put it in bait. Free home mod. Alright. Charizard.
If Life Orb is bad, Solar Power is worse.
Yeah.
But damn does it hit hard.
I don't think I've run into Charizard in the past, 2 years.
I'll put it in
a
Worry World.
mod.
Yeah, that's a Worry World mod. Alright.
This guy is interesting.
Yeah, Chesnaught is a very odd one.
This feels like an Arctic Blast bait mod, but instead of Arctic Blast being the one baited, it's my teammates in every team tour that bring this mod up as something good to run.
I mean, okay. The thing is that it's one of the few Pokemon in the current gen that actually gets IDVP stab.
Yeah, I think that's its niche. It has decent bulk as well, so I think it goes into small niche. It's probably worse Komodo most of the time, but its stats are not bad, and it has Leech Seed and stuff, so it has more recovery. If you wanted an Iron Defense mod, Iron Press mod with recovery, you go with Chesnaught, I think.
Good enough. This is my draft goat. I fucking love this mon. That is
I don't know what to
Cinderace.
think about. I don't personally know what to think about Cinderace though, because I understand.
think
I
Cinderace
understand
is
that
one
it can do good things, but I don't think I've ever run into a random who's done good things with it. But to be fair, those randoms also never broke 1400.
Yeah.
So when DLC 2 came out and Kyurem Black was still in the tier and everyone was running around trying coaching, there were a few teams that ran this guy with backs, even in the aftermath, because it turns out that this was a really good coacher for snow teams to have, because it was a fire resist. And having access to Wisp, having really strong, fast coverage moves like high jump kick and Pyro Ball, it can do a lot of work in a game if you play it correctly.
This
And
is
it's not
like
quite frail.
this is like the definition of a classic mon. Like I've brought this before, and chances are I'll bring it again. I like it a lot. It has a lot of utility. It hits honestly like really hard. Libero nerf is like really bad for it, but like it has
It's not
like
even
a
the
fair
reason to
enough.
use it.
No, I think it is actually because
It
thing is, you
helps, but it's not the
No.
core appeal.
no, I think that there's better coaching Pokemon, but if you're running this,
Oh, you want to use it as a breaker?
it's
This is
actually
also
really-
fun.
I've seen
actually
this
really
kind of
cool.
set too many times, and unfortunately, to me, it doesn't really do very much. I've seen it. I've seen people try it.
Look at
I've
look at
seen
that.
people
It
fail,
outspeeds
and that's it.
Adamant Power with max speed. That's crazy.
It's I don't know. Yeah, of course, you can also do like the bulkier stuff, but that set to me is actually really solid. I don't know. I'm a little bit biased because I like the launch numbers, but I don't know. I feel like this is like the definition of classic. I can't really put it any lower. All right. I've seen this on ladder a few times, and it's just cosmic power stuff, and it's just really annoying. I don't like this Pokemon.
Yeah, no, I feel like the people who run Clefable are just the people who try to bring singles into doubles.
I brought this
I
Pokemon
had
in
to put-
SCL. I brought Clefairy in SCL because I underestimated how bad it was. This Pokemon's pretty bad, but like Friend Guard is kind of nice, so I'll put it in small niche.
I mean, it's really just like the more sustained version of Mousehold, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Fairy type's a lot better.
It
And
does
also
a good
gets Life
job.
too.
Yeah, Life 2 as well.
Good job. That does Icy Wind to actually help with speed control a little bit as well. It can do a few things with the smart move pool it has.
We're just
Hi,
doing this
Faye.
for all the memes.
Hi, Faye. Where's Volcarona? Volcarona's on this list somewhere.
Volcarona is good enough that I can put it somewhere
I
else.
would argue that Volcarona can. I would argue that Volcarona would definitely be a higher tier, though.
You know what? I've had enough. These are funny Pokemon.
So it's just exempt from the tier list. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna move Blissey down because I don't think Hugo would like this being associated with him. Okay. Colossal. This is Worry Whirl. It has like rapid spin and a few utility moves, but it's like very, very bad. And like all the gimmicks with like
If you know, you know.
yeah, chestnut hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of funny,
But-
but like without Gigantamax to save it, there's really no use for those Pokemon.
Chestnut has fallen. He no longer runs this Pokemon. His greatest defender is no longer with us.
Unfortunate.
I don't know
I'll
if I
put
should
this one-
speak. You
Yeah,
know what I'm gonna say about this one.
I'm gonna mute you really quickly. No, just kidding. But it's small niche.
I have
like
absolutely
it.
no comment about Cobalion. All I can think, because I've never really seen it on ladder before, my only thought on it is slow Terrakion that doesn't have spread moves, but I don't know. They probably play
Okay,
different.
right. So
it's actually
the
the same
niche,
speed. No,
they're the
moving
same
on.
speed. It clicks body press, right? That's what it does.
It's alright. But
It's
it belongs
fastest
below
body press user with stab.
it belongs below Chesnaught, in my opinion. Okay. Conkeldurr.
How the mighty have fallen.
This is Arctic Blast bait for sure. This is like someone pinging Arctic Blast, just somewhere being like, "Yo, what about Conkeldurr?" And then Arctic Blast goes, "Why are you not using Iron Hands?" And then as soon as you put on Iron Hands, he goes, "Why aren't you using Instant?" And then you're like, "Damn, what is my purpose playing DOU anymore?" Like, this is like bait of bait. Like it doesn't get worse than this. All right.
This poor guy died when Size Spam entered the game.
Yeah. This is a pretty strong trick room sweeper. I've used it a fair amount. And if this was like a metagame with less power level, it'd go in classic.
Sheer force is
It's
broken.
not good
That's
anymore.
all I gotta say.
I mean,
Like-
I can totally. One thing I want to at least note is that I believe you could, in theory, make like a weird like Steel Roller Paparaja team, but
It doesn't have it.
I don't
No
Steel
way.
Roller is Steel Roller is a signature move of Iron Treads this gen.
Wrong elephant.
what?
I can't explain why this happened.
I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, then it's just sheer force lore trick room, like you guys said. Yeah.
All right. Corviknight.
This is not. There's amount of ladder players that like this mod.
It's
Yeah, it's definitely not good into Arc.
I will
That's
say
all I can
this.
say.
I will say this. Level 51 brought this Pokemon last week in OSDT.
it's like okay. I'm selling it a little bit short here. This probably goes in like small niche or something. Nah,
It does have a
this
lot
is
of
bait.
matchup
This is
penetration.
bait.
It's bait.
The typing is not bad, but like I don't know.
I
It
mean,
struggles so much into all
its
the
main
fires.
virtue, its main virtue to me at least, is the fact that it just walls Landorus.
Oh, that's true.
It was more than that. But the thing is, this is one of those mons that sits around with a fantastic typing and then nothing to do except click a setup move like 5 times before it starts being a huge problem.
All right, sister, you have some explaining to do. Spot what's wrong with the next Pokemon. This is a Pokemon that is like actually not in the game.
He knows. He knows.
Bro tried to bait me into raiding this Pokemon. Alright. Driftblim?
I think there was exactly one VGC team in DLC 1 that used this as some kind of cheese thing with Tailwind and, like, Unburden.
It's actually really interesting because, okay. Our tally of people asking me for games is now at 1. Keep this in mind. Okay.
I've run into a Driftblim on ladder once. The team was very strange, and it was actually decently effective, but the problem mostly was just that it was just it's just like Driftblim just kind of sat there and did nothing.
Yeah, it's another one of those mods. It's just like,
It's got such a
It-
unique move pool with Unburden access that
Yeah, like
you
was
have to really
trying
think
do
to
stuff,
use
but
this.
it was trying like it was trying to do stuff. The most it really did was do Tailwind, and then the rest was relatively negligible.
I'm gonna put it in small niche because It actually is kind of interesting. Okay, actually, no, I can't do that. I'm gonna put it lower. Worry Whirl was right.
Worry Roll is right.
Yeah. Dark
I would
Trio.
argue that it would be at least with like next to Chansey though, in
This
Worry
is
World.
only here
Like,
because of Aragon. This is his own sins coming back to fight him.
No, I'm just kidding. This Pokemon is like. You want to know about the most unnecessary nerf of all time? They took away high horsepower from this guy's roof pool. You know how mad that makes me feel? Not mad at all. But you know what? It just like why? Like what were you doing here? Like why? Just why? So it does have the arena trap, which is kind of funny because obviously Shadow Tag is banned. Free Shadow Tag. But I don't know. It's the stats are just so unbelievably bad. It's actually just hilarious how bad this Pokemon is.
He's 300. Like 330 stats.
So bad. Okay. Dusclops? This is like worst P2. This is bait.
It's P2 with Will-O-Wisp and Ally Switch. So
They really take away
it's
Ally Switch from P2?
yeah.
Bruh.
Or does this thing even have Ally Switch anymore? I might be insane.
Okay, it doesn't
I'm
have it
insane.
either.
It's not on it. Okay, so it has Haze and Will-O-Wisp, and then funny moves like Memento, Pain Split, and Disable. So
Like
it's
just
got Disruption. It's a disruptive mon that sets Trick Room as
P2
opposed
is
to
just
an
unbelievably better. It's not like a bad Pokemon, but like it's not that interesting. Alright. Electabuzz. I think this is Worry Whirl. If you're using one of these guys, you should be using Magmar. At least that one's like somewhat um usable. A small niche. But I think even this one's generally outclassed, and Electabuzz is just even worse.
Yeah, we're going to turn the music book on.
Ah, fuck. Okay.
Shout out to Goldenrod Radio.
Shout out Goldenrod Radio. Okay. Electrode-Hisui.
Chloroblast! My favorite move name.
It is. This Pokemon is bad. I've looked at it before, but it's bad. I'm not even gonna pull it up. Alright. Empoleon.
One of ESM's biggest propaganda moments.
I think this is like
It's a good water type. That maybe I want a water type that isn't the local terrorist.
I'll put it in small niche actually. It could be used.
Competitive is a great ability to have, and it does have the special bulk to cause a lot of problems for certain Pokemon. It's worse now that Lando is the premier special attacker in the tier, though.
Yeah.
It loved having Flutter around to prey on.
Alright. Enamorus. This is tier 5. This is honestly like tier 4. People are sleeping on this mod. You can honestly like it does a lot of the same things that Flutter did. It's obviously like a lot less broken. And like deblatably like not even like that strong. But it hits just as hard as Flutter. And I think
Please
people should use this
run
one more.
choice specs.
Yeah.
Run choice specs. Moonblast, Springtide, Earth Power. You can hit anything. You will do damage. Just play around it properly.
Yeah. It's like high skill Flutter. Okay.
And now the
Pretty
ugly
bad.
one.
This one is pretty bad. I've brought this many, many times. So much so that I probably need to put it in Classic. The
Honestly,
stats are like almost there.
I can't blame you. It just it needs health. Why is its HP stat so low? If it wasn't like diverged so much between attack and special attack, and one of those got swapped with HP, it'd be a fantastic Pokemon.
I had 115
like,
attack. This is a Pokemon that
yeah,
really suffers from the fact that the form switches never change the HP stat.
Yeah.
It can't really be bulky with 74, unless you're like sitting at ungodly levels of like 120, 130. The stats just aren't quite there. It's not that bad though. You can do some funny things with this. I've brought like Iron Defense, Combine, Stored Power. No, not Stored Power, Draining Kiss, Earth Power. And it's been like alright before. It's like, it's not good, but it's like, you could throw harder with other Pokemon. Alright, Espafra. I think it belongs up here.
Made a name for this Pokemon.
I don't even know how to like rank this because it's not tier 5, but it's not okay. It's probably small niche, probably.
This thing, well. it does it better than anything else in the game.
Yeah, it does. All right, Espeon. Oh man, this is peak Arctic Blast bait. I guess with Expanding Force, you can do some funny things. So it's like not as bad as these mons. Just because the stats are like honestly like could be worse.
If for some reason you ever needed Magic Bounce, this one's got you. Honestly,
this is not bad. Not bad.
Nice stats for an evolution.
Yeah, it has like no bulk, but like
it's got a DD bulk.
Probably not that bad. Yeah. All right. So, Executor. What does
I regret to inform you that Wolfie brought this with Expanding Force in VGC a couple weeks ago.
Okay, like that's the other. That's the other category of Arctic Blast bait.
The case with Executor as well is like with Wolf bringing Executor at least is like it's literally like his favorite Pokemon for whatever reason. So that's another thing about bringing into bait.
Yeah, basically this guy uses Harvest to farm citrus berries and click Expanding Force Trick Room, which it does decently well. Also has Sleep Powder if you want to gamble your life.
Bro, what is this Pokemon? Literally, what is this Pokemon?
This is Sheer Force. This is Sheer Force the Pokemon. And that's all it has. I'm going to be honest. But I've seen it on ladder.
The bird. You know what tier this is going in.
This is like the definitive mon for this tier.
Yeah. Alright. Let me go.
Most people won't even know what we're talking about with that.
You know what? Fair enough. I think this is comma. Like this is like meme material. Like
this is somebody made a really stupid VGC cheese meme team that we're running in the grand challenge because we don't feel like building real teams.
Max. Gallade? This is like
a solid.
This is certified Aragon Classic in the past, which means it probably goes into small niche. Actually, this is Keanu tier, probably.
Keanu loves this Pokemon right now. It's doing good in VGC because it has Wide Guard, Brick Room, and then it has Sharpness to kill Incineroar with Sacred Sword.
I'll change my mind, by the way.
It's going at the bottom now.
I mean, we can also put it into that tier because Keanu's lost to Gallade, like, several times.
Bruh. Here we have worse than T.
Hey,
so much worse they can't even compare the two.
It's the guy from the UU suspect test.
Yo.
Hey, Game Freak. Game Freak. Why doesn't Garchomp learn high horsepower?
Bro,
why did you do that?
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
I think this is Arctic.
I can't believe you did that.
What do you think, Arctic Blast bait?
It's Arctic Blast bait right now. It has almost enough things that it can do, and it has enough speed to be really, really funny, but it's just like you run into like a single IC-Win or you just don't do enough damage because you don't have your best round move is Stomping Tantrum. It's like,
Yeah.
it's just unfortunate. Lando gets away with it because it has 15 more base attack.
I think like Garchomp's not that bad.
It's not that bad. It's almost there. It would be there if it had high horsepower, in my opinion, at least. It gained Liquidation this gen too, which is pretty useful with Terra Water to flip its type. It has some things, but not enough.
Yeah. I think
Also give him Dragon Dance, Game Freak, because like, come on.
Is that even better than Sword Dance on this guy? I guess.
It would help him significantly.
I don't know.
Especially with Clear Amulet in the game, it would help him a lot.
Okay, I can see that, yeah. Alright, Gardevoir. I think this is Worry World. Like, bring the Mega back. Come on now. Let's just bring the Mega back. Alright. Organical.
If there was ever... This mon belongs in a war crimes tier.
I think this is Arctic Blast bait. It's almost in comma, but like, there's so many things that hit it now that it can't even go in comma anymore. Like, I don't know. It's a pre-home mon. It could be kind of funny, but unfortunately, I think Chesnaught's actually better than it a lot of the time, because it has stab body press, and has like Leech Seed and stuff. So, unfortunately, these two kind of have similar niches. And I think Chesnaught kind of does it better. Although I don't think either of them are good, but like, I would rather use Chesnaught than use Garganacl, if that makes sense. All right. Oh wait, what did I move? I think it was that one. Okay. Hydrapple? I don't know. What do you guys think on this one? It appears Ray has entered exile because of his roommate. Okay. I don't know. You can use this, but like, I don't think it's good enough for small niche, but I also don't feel like it's Arctic Blast bait at the same time. I don't know. But it also feels too good to be in Worry Whirl. Bro, Shister, what do you think about this one? I don't know. Generator with it. It has decent move pool. You know what? I'll put it in small niche for the heck of it. It can't be that bad. Trust. Okay. Gengar. This isn't even Arctic Blast bait. This is Worry Whirl. Like, there was a moment in time where Paraplegic attempted to tell me that Gengar was better than Clefairy. That thought has literally never left my head. However, I'm not sure that one
back?
aged too well.
I think I'm back. I can hear you now.
I bet. All I did was rank Hydrapple. I put it in small niche because it felt too good to be in Arctic Blast bait. Alright. We're on Gengar. I'm putting it in Whirlwill. Okay. Glaceon.
Another one of our specials.
Shout out to the time ESM asked for what he should bring to San Antonio. I posted Glaceon in the chat, and then he brought Glaceon to San Antonio. The team was honestly really funny.
He actually did really well in that tournament too, didn't he?
I think he got one win away from day 2. I can't remember. I don't know. I think this is probably Worry Whirl. It's kind of funny, but it's probably towards the top of Worry Whirl. But it's like, the stats just really aren't there. But like, you could do worse. Just not that much worse.
A precursor to Snow's recent dominance, I would say.
Yeah. There's better ice types now. Kyurem. Like, why would you run this when you could run Articuno? Like, literally, like, we could have told him to bring Articuno to that tournament and he would have done better, probably. Okay. Glacier.
I've seen this thing fall off.
This thing is like, it's bad.
It used to be like everywhere, and now it's just non-existent.
This thing was rated tier 4 at one point.
Now it's probably got overpay for this Pokemon. I don't know. It's
I mean,
like
I think
it's
Blastoise is one of those mons where like instant happens.
it's an ice type, and ice types can just get hit by anything. So it's really hard to sweep with a mon like this. It's not bad on Trick Room. I'll put it in bait. I don't think it's Worry Whirl because the stats are just so good, but like, it's really not that good.
I would rather tell a new player to use Conkeldurr than this thing. I hate this mon now. I tried so hard to make it work.
Valid. All right. Gliscor.
Broken typing.
Now will
Broken
he biased or will he not?
This is probably Worry Whirl, unfortunately. There's too many things that outclass this one, and really, like, I drafted it in like a VGC draft tournament. I brought it to one game. I clicked like Sword Dance 3 times, and still like missed all the Okos. And so I was like, no, it's one of my favorite Pokemon. Don't get me wrong, but like,
it's amazing.
And it's actually crazy how badly it's outclassed by like Lando T.
The disparity between this Pokemon in singles and doubles is just so insane to me.
That too.
Like,
Well, I think one thing that should be noted is that unlike in singles, doubles has uses a lot of intimidate mons as well. So physical defense isn't as important as it is in singles.
There's a perfect storm of things that go wrong for it.
We
have less emphasis on hazards. There's less time for it to chip heal or chip down with toxic. Knockoff isn't as relevant. There's more special attackers that'll be around to kill it at any given moment. And it can't click Earthquake in doubles anymore.
Yeah, you just have to use like bad high horsepower. Which, it's crazy to say bad high horsepower, but on this Pokemon it does no damage. Alright, Gothitelle. There are better competitive Pokemon, unfortunately.
Make a free Shadow Tag tier right now.
Alright.
I personally am fine with the fact that Shadow Tag is gone. It's like,
we have too many tiers. I can't do this.
Oh well.
This probably is just like Worry Whirl, like the very bottom of Worry Whirl. Grafai? Oh my goodness. Oh god. This is. There's only one place this one belongs.
This is our guy.
My favorite Pokemon. This is like. And honestly, I definitely will bring this again. It's kind of just a matter of time until like I feel like it has enough of a niche. But I like this Pokemon. It hits pretty hard. It's decent on Sun with like Scarf and stuff. But I think the really interesting set is like Hazard Removal. It's probably the best Hazard Removal in DOU. Serena's pretty bad. But Tusk is like, you can use it. Alright.
Glimmor's fake Hazard Removal.
What the hell? Please tell me that did not just... Okay, it saved my progress. Okay.
Thank God for cookies.
Yeah, facts. Alright. Gyarados.
I would argue small niche lowest. Like at its lowest. Because
Water type Intimidate.
I've seen it still get some usage. I think it still works. The only problem is just when you fight into rain, ironically.
Oh yeah, it's so bad to bridge. I think, yeah, it's like usable, but like, I wouldn't really want to use it very often. At all, if at all. Alright.
You could find something for it.
Yeah. Alright, Yama.
Hey, look.
There's only one tier this Pokemon belongs.
Take out Wide Garden is all this thing is good for, and then...
Yeah. It's like, you could use it, but like, meh. Okay. Green. Small niche. It's very hard under Trick Room. I'll put it at the top of small niche. I think this is like... This is not a bad Pokemon, to be honest.
I mean,
This-
Life Orb Hatterene still hits decently hard.
It's really hard.
I will give this one massive props for being able to compress Trick Room and Expanding Force for those types of teams, and being so good at just spamming fairy coverage to actually fix the type matchups for those teams. It does really well with them.
Yeah, it's just really unfortunate how many times I've seen people use Hatterene and just not understand how to like use it to its fullest potential. And so they just let it sit on the field and die before Trick Room even gets up.
Yeah.
I've seen it one too many times, and it's just really infuriating when I go against this player, because like you see a team like that and you think like, oh, this could be a good game, but it's like you need to at least understand how to use the mod.
Yeah. This is probably the hardest hitting expanded force user left in the tier. Actually, it might have always been with Life Orb. No, this thing can carry Life Orb, and then it hits harder. This mod does a lot of damage. I've never seen a Hoopa and been like concerned about like taking too much damage. But with this mod, like this thing, it does a lot of damage. It really.
It's kind of crazy to say.
Just the fact it can run Life Orb, and Magic Bounce is also pretty nice. I actually think this is probably better than Hoopa a lot of the time, just because the typing's better.
That Fairy Stab is so useful now.
Yeah, this is a good Pokemon. I'm a fan. Like, this is a lot of special attack. Like, this is more than Flutter we're talking about.
We bump it up because I could see you bringing this later.
Alright, I will.
It just struck me that does Hatterene underspeed Amoonguss?
Yes.
It speed ties it. But the most common...
No.
Oh, actually, no, it is 1 point slower. It's literally 1 point slower. But it also has Magic Bounce, so Amoonguss never mattered to it at all.
My favorite random discovery of this gen was finding out that Room Service Hatterene underspeeds Torkoal.
That's actually wild. Okay. Whoa, what the hell? What the hell?
This is a shit mod now. This here goat, he's fucking what?
I'll put him in tier 5 mod, but like, that's actually legitimately true. It is a tier 5 Pokemon. It's still
like
pretty solid.
It's
the unfortunate truth of Heatran is that on almost any team that I would want a bulky special fire, I'd rather go with Volcanion right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't really help that doesn't really help that right now it just like absolutely gets destroyed by like Arcaludon gets destroyed by really any Earth Power user.
Yeah. It doesn't trade well anymore. This was a Pokemon whose niche was predicated on trading well. It really doesn't really do that at this point.
It also is just the fact that because Orlando Eye is prevalent as
obviously,
well,
this is a meme pick. Like, this should not probably be on the tier list, but we're making a point that you probably don't want to run this Pokemon, even if it is on the VR. Alright, Hippowdon. Shout out to the time Nidorus was playing test games against me. The first game he loaded up Tyranitar, decided it was bad. Second game he loaded with Hippowdon, decided it was worse, and then we were both like, free Gigalith. And that was the last time I've ever seen this Pokemon used. Worry Whirl.
This might go in bait just because Wolfie's been spamming this mon.
Yeah, I
in
was
his
about
videos
to say, like, we're probably gonna start seeing this whenever Wolf makes his next video, because his next video is likely gonna be featuring something involving the fact that he won a regional with a Powdon.
Or not a regional.
Or not won a regional, but he's like did really well.
He brought it with like something. I don't know. Okay, this is the other kind of bait. But really, like, Pokemon-wise, it's Whirlwill. Okay, Houndstone, oh my goodness. If there was ever
You do already
more
know.
if there was ever a more perfect combination for Arctic Blast bait, this I mean, okay, Hydreigon.
I am so happy with how that game turned out with this mon.
This is. If you don't
Yeah,
know,
Iron Jug is
you know what?
it's a funny sleeper pick for like
No, it's not Hydreigon. It's
for
not
like
Hydreigon.
Team
We're
Force.
not at Jugulus left yet. Let's see. Where's the game?
Please don't tell me it was lost to time.
No. It's after the wipe. This might be in private replays.
There was a page 3 in the public replays too. I'm sad that this thing doesn't have a way to index by mon used.
I feel like if anything, they should allow us to index by specific dates.
Or just check the date. Oh, we are not there yet. Okay, that's why. I didn't realize I had so many private replays. Okay, here it is. We're not gonna say anything. We're just gonna watch the game.
You know, I will say, the set that this Hydreigon ran was not the original idea we had for it, but it became too funny to ignore.
This might be like one of the more successful bad ideas we've had. To be fair, I don't really know why he's running Iron Moth here, but like.
I don't know, man. This meta was in a weird state.
Looks nasty, Plot. Wait for it. Wait for it.
We are now in overdrive.
We're now about to witness the greatest turn of all time.
Right, I remember this. I remember this. I was in the call when you made this.
We have Terra Poison with Levitate. We have Dark Pulse to hit any psychics that would bother us, and we have 120 base power Belch with nasty plot boost. This guy is my goat.
This might be the funniest replay of all time.
It certainly is the replay of all time, at least.
It rolled such a good matchup, and then it did exactly what it was intended to do.
Aside from this this little meme, this mon is a genuinely decent bulky Tailwind user with a good typing and a great ability.
Yeah.
But it has good nasty plot use, but man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we actually did build this in like Westcord VC or something.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure how that happened. Yeah, this is
again. I was there when you built this team and we're testing
Yeah.
it. I remember watching the games. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a fun one. I like it. So I think this is definitely classic. It's also just not a bad mod. No Flutter actually makes it better. In a lot of ways, but it's still probably worse for Moon. But the Belch set is just hilarious. So for context, we were like building like some Hydreigon set. I think it was probably just Tailwind or something. But we noticed a certain move because we decided that Poison was like the best Terra type for it. by like a long shot because of obviously the typing and levitate. And so then we filtered by poison move, and there was only one option for a stab poison move. But you look at this base power, and you're like, no way, this is so strong. And so we went out of our way to find a way to use Belch. And along the way, we actually discovered that if you fling a berry onto a Pokemon that holds Belch, it actually activates it, and you can just click Belch. However, we just decided that the Citrus Berry was being procced like most games, so we didn't even need it. And that's exactly what happened in the game. So, fun mod. Really can't say anything else. Alright. Oh god, what is this doing here? I can't remember the niche. I don't even want to remember the niche.
I don't
Third
remember the niche. I just know we looked at it multiple times.
I thought the multiple times. Oh no. Okay. And third aid? Let's get fake out. It gets fake out, right? Let's see.
I can check.
I'm pretty sure it gets fake out. It's not that bad, but it's like, why would you not use it over instant? It's pretty fast, I guess.
Yeah, it is coaching fake out. And a bunch of other moves like knock off,
Actually-
knock punch. U-turn
Wait,
will-o-wisp.
that's actually fire compression. We're moving this up. I would bring this. I can't lie. I would bring this, like, at some point.
I mean, I feel like
I
feel like the whole deal with Infernape, the way I would see it is just running it as coaching Iron Fist, coaching Iron Fist and punching. You know,
I mean, with this move pool, you could run physical or special, given the stats.
true. I mean, that's probably my main gripe with it. It's just I don't like the fact that it has even that it's a mixed attacker. I've never personally liked mixed attackers.
Oh, this
It's
is one of the
actually
few
how-
mons in the game that... It's one of the few mons in the game that can run Vacuum Wave.
True.
Okay, it's not as fast as I thought it was. But this is still interesting. That's actually a lot of moves. That's actually wild. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna just put it in classic because, like, I mean,
It is faint.
it has
Oh,
it
no.
just the move pool is just deep. You know what? Sometimes
We're gonna eventually find a team tour where Era just brings it and somehow sweeps a game with it.
bro, we're gonna click Iron Fist Drain Punch. Does it have Drain Punch? Yo.
No. Oh, no. It even has the bad punch move.
Wait, you can do the other meme with you can do the other punching meme.
That's true.
Oh,
It's probably just
This is
protect.
This is probably one of the only mons I could ever feasibly click reversal to with Focus Sash and that speed tier. Well, we're derailing this just a little bit.
All right.
all we gotta, we're just like using this also as a moment to figure out what Era's next big thing's gonna be.
All right. We surely need more than this. Okay, the bulk is like really bad and it suffers from mixed attacker syndrome, but like this is heat. This is heat. Okay. Iron Boulder.
This is probably biased, but I think it should be tier 5.
I think it's tier
seen
5.
some-
The stats are really good. And I've actually seen a couple of people bring this against me in test games. It's actually performed. There's a few things you can do with
Including
this.
me, but
Yeah. You as well. This is a good one. It's not
I
like, I,
think
don't
it's
think it's
just-
as good as Enamorus, but I think it's usable.
it definitely plays very cleanly. I mean, it has a variety of stuff that you can run. I mean, just the fact that it has Mighty Cleave alone just gives it a lot of power. And then also has coverage for Rilla and Ogerpon, while being faster than both.
Yeah.
The only problem is that in those matchups, it's kind of a Terra Hog.
Yeah. Higher Jugulus. I think this is worse for Rain Moon, so I'll put it in small niche. It does have flying typing, but I don't think this Pokemon's that good.
I think it is relatively sleeper on account of the fact that it is just a fast tailwind.
Yeah, it's not bad. I think it's just mostly outclassed by a few things. Alright, Moth, same deal. You do have Power Herb with this one.
Disgusting special attack stat.
Yeah, it's 140. It's pretty good, but
No
worse
quiver
to
dance.
you. It's very much like worse to you a lot of the time. Alright.
There's also no quiver dance, which is
Yeah,
unfortunate.
that too. Valiant? Small niche, I think.
I've been seeing
think
people run this lately. Like an unusual number of people running this. There have been multiple
I
tournament
personally
games that had it.
view Valiant like as a very skill based Pokemon on account of the fact that it is frail. However, it still gets wide guard, so it's kind of both matchup fishy and very like you need to know what you're doing while using it to make it actually do something.
It's not just wide guard as the outplay button. You have stuff like Encore on this mon as well.
That's
Like,
a good move pool.
Yeah, again, the point is
It
it's
has the
frail,
biggest
but
move pool of the whole
Yeah.
list.
the main point is that it's a frail mon that can run as a very strong support option.
And
It is because of the fact that it is frail that that I consider it very it's very skill heavy. You have to really know what you're doing in your game to really bring out where it shines most.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think it did decently well as a coaching bot. As well. Has a good move pool. I don't think it's like approaching classic, but I don't think it's quite there. Not bad though. Alright, Keldeo. What do you guys think on
I'm
this
so
one? I
sorry.
don't really know. I think this is probably Arctic Blast bait.
Keldeo in this gen?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, Keldeo's in this gen.
Maybe
This
it's roughly
mon makes me
2-1.
so sad. Because, like, Keldeo is... Like, I want to run Keldeo because it's one of the few mons that I could definitively say completely offensively pressures Lando Eye. It's a special attacking water type that's faster than it with a good move pool and, like, stuff like pivot options. Like, it has Flip Turn, it has Muddy Water now, it has Hydro Pump, and, of course, it has stuff like Aura Spear. Like, it has a good typing and decent perks going for it, but I could never make it work.
I mean,
Valid.
one of the biggest problems is that its stability does absolutely nothing for it.
Yeah.
Alright, Kilowattrel. Worry Whirl. This it. I would put it in
Fair.
Arctic Blast bait, but like I can't even do that. Alright.
We are far
All I
from
can note
flung
is
from
that
pre-home.
Kilowattrel is scary if you ignore it. But
Fair.
that's wind power for you.
Yeah. Alright, Kingdra, small niche. Decent. I still think it's like probably slightly usable, but I don't think it's like that good.
I mean, let's be real. The case with Kingdra is just you have Archaludon as your rain option instead.
And
Yeah.
Landorus.
Oh, we
gotta
gotta go.
Nah, I wouldn't say Landorus. I think Landorus is actually a plus for this one. It's I don't know. I almost feel like could be like tier 5, but I haven't seen enough use of it. But I think with the recent bans, people should probably take a look at this one as a raid sweeper. It's gotten better.
I mean, also the recent bans have also reduced the speed level in the tier as well, so you could probably run it bulkier instead. You could also afford to run it more bulk on Kingdra nowadays too.
Yeah. Well, it's not that bad. I'd have to see more of this one to actually rate it, but for now I'll put it here. Alright. Cleaver.
Where did this man go?
I think this is probably tier 5, but I don't think it's like that good. If that makes sense. It's like bottom of tier 5.
It is the Pokemon that hits Stone Axe and then somehow one-shots your Pokemon when you least expect it.
Yeah, it does a lot of damage. It has a few good matchups as well, but I don't think I can put it lower.
Has a really, really cool move pool too. Like, access to Feint and Tailwind just because. And
Cyber
then
moment.
other stuff like U-turn and close combat. Like, it has good coverage and it hits hard. And it's
Yeah.
real hard.
Klefki. Oh man, this takes me back. It's probably bait, I think, unfortunately. It's like,
If Grimmsnarl's bad, this is worse.
yeah.
Music.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Leavanny? This thing is better at Dubers than DOU.
I feel like this is like the Coatmon, but yeah.
Alright, Lilligant-Hisui is definitely a tier 5. It's solely a Sunmon, but it's like very strong on Sun.
Not to mention, if you're really crazy, you can do the funny Focus Punch after you, but...
Oh yeah, that too.
Pandora's Box as a Pokemon.
Yeah.
It has so many funny ideas that you can run with it. It just... None of them currently work into the meta, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that its only real niche is like the Sun Sweeper, which I think it still does pretty well, but it really does limit it to one kind of team, when it has a lot of interesting options. Alright, Ludicolo. I actually was looking at this a little bit ago, a couple weeks ago, but it's probably towards the top of World. It's not that. It's really bad.
I do not think Ludicolo can play very well.
It's really bad, yeah.
It's bad, and you're not going to see a water user.
Yeah, now that we have an actual grass water type, like, yeah. Alright, Malamar, there's only one tier where this belongs.
Okay, I was gonna say initially, like, small niche, just on account of the fact that I've seen so many people run skill swap with this thing.
It's kind of funny, it's like not that bad, but it definitely belongs in that tier. Okay. This thing is definitely small niche. If you like click Tail Glow with this, yeah, this is a good one.
What was it? Was it World Cup that we did? That we had like the like 5 games of Manaphy in a row.
Tail Glow with Surf and Ogerpon Wellspring next to it, and this was before people put Wellspring at like 50% use rate.
Last I checked, didn't Manaphy win almost every single time it was played in World Cup as well?
When we used it, yes. When we used it, it won.
I think it's definitely still quite solid. Alright.
Take Heart is also a really good move.
Mousehold. This is probably bait, unfortunately. It's like the top of bait, but it's bait.
This thing wants to be Pachirisu.
Yeah.
I've seen that freaking beat up Mousehold plus Terrakion
it's in the gen
so many times.
I can update the list.
We don't need to put it on here, but when I was looking at my old team builder, I saw this Pokemon. One time. Okay.
I've seen the Mousehold thing way too many times, and I can tell you I can also assure you that it does nothing.
This is like one of those group tour gimmicks that someone pings Arctic Blast about in the Smogon Doubles room. That's all
People
I have to say about Metacham.
You see Metacham, you see slacking.
I'll say this. I'll say this about Metacham. It is unironically worse Gallade now.
Honestly,
I'm being so serious.
That checks out.
I've never thought about it that way. Yeah, that is true.
It's kind of funny because you can do skill swap pure power, which I did in pre-home several times.
I've seen it many times on ladder, and every single time that player loses.
Yeah, that too. Alright. Meloetta.
Yes, we love our 20% chance to sleep with our attacking move.
This is like, actually no, this is Kama. This is Kama. This Pokemon is actually really toxic. But fortunately, people haven't figured out how to be really toxic with it yet, so... Okay.
I miss this mon. I miss this Pokemon in the metagame. I miss when this was like tier 3.
I like this mon a little bit.
This mon has some
I think the mon is fun.
It's probably bait.
I honestly do think that Meowscarada is fun to use. Unfortunately, it's still a little bit in a weird position for like speed in our current meta.
It's faster than most things now because the speed
It
tiers
is,
drop.
but it is still like in a kind of awkward position where you kind of are forced to use up your Protean in order to just not die to Lando, or either Terra to not die to Lando.
I mean,
And
it is triple axle now. It kills Lando.
if you run a Scarf set, I guess. Oh shit!
You don't need a scarf set. Look at his speed. You don't speed that bitch.
I don't know.
Oh wait, I'm
This
being
one is
stupid.
like-
I was thinking like Lando 130 for some reason.
Interesting.
Never mind. I'm just being stupid.
This Pokemon is like, meh. This is legitimately worse than Cinderace, because there are far better grass types that you would get a lot more value out of.
Yeah.
And it hits like alright. You could probably run Band on it with Protean, but like,
It has some crazy stuff it can do with its move pool. I've seen Trick Room Ally switch on this mod for some reason, among other things. Offensive
Switch
T-spikes as well.
Meowscarada? That is crazy.
It certainly has options. The quality of those options may remain in question. But it can hit decently hard. It's fast.
bro, we literally just took Cinderace and downgraded the stats. Look at this.
Yeah.
Watch those stats just go down. Except for his special attack, which goes up. Okay. Mesprit. Oh man. I want to put this in small mid niche, but I can't justify it.
You didn't actually bring that team, did you?
No. I never actually brought this one. It's kind of bad. But unironically, somehow better than the other two Lake Guardians. I'll put it... I'll put it at the bottom of bait.
It's got the least wasted stat without having, like, no attack whatsoever, like Yuxi.
Milotic, small niche, no comment. Okay. Moltres.
I
We
think
looked at
this
this a
one's
few times.
unexplored.
Yeah, this is an unexplored one. I'll put it in small niche as well. I think, like, you can definitely run this Pokemon to, like, slight success. There are better fire types, so I'll put it towards the bottom, but, like, it's really, like, not that good. But, like, you can run it.
I think the typing goes crazy. I'll give it that.
A Alolan Muck? Oh, man. I thought this Pokemon was going to be something, but really, it turned out to just be the most toxic gimmick of all time. And only on VGC ladder where it can run minimized. Oh my god, much lag. This is,
I don't even remember what you did with this mon.
Okay, the entire reason for running this Pokemon in the first place was that I was trying to fling a berry to Farigiraf to activate Weakness Policy, have the Farigiraf eat the berry again with Kunshu, so I get another boost, right? 2 turns later. Then I was hoping that this is the only Pokemon in the game with Pickup plus Fling, or that, like, has the right stat line for this niche. And so I was hoping it would pick up the berry that had just flung to the Farigiraf, so I could keep flinging it at the Farigiraf to keep getting more defense boosts with Keyberry. However, unfortunately, Pickup doesn't work like that. And so we were really close to discovering something just incredibly hilarious. But unfortunately, the entire reason for this Pokemon being used is irrelevant because Pickup doesn't work on berries. So, very bottom of Worry World. Alright, this is pure bait. This is like, I mean, free home at its finest. Alright, Oranguru. honestly, this Pokemon is like not that bad. I'll put it at the bottom of small niche.
It's
Instruct is
better
really
now with
funny.
expanding. It's better now with expanding force. It doesn't have to be completely passive anymore.
The typing's also not bad. I
Unfortunately.
feel like this is like a Pokemon that gets overshadowed by its own gimmicks. But as a Pokemon, it's really like, it could be worse. It's a decent Trick Room setter with a decent typing. Pretty bulky. And it has Instruct,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have to click Instruct. You can Trick Room. You also can't be taunted. You can't be glitched, so you don't have that problem. You can also run funny Simbi. There's a lot of stuff. This Pokemon's not that bad. Alright. What's next here? Orfworm. Oh man.
I am sad to say that I've been approached with this mon as an idea this week by a party that will remain unnamed.
Oh my goodness. I think this goes with Cyclizar. Actually, no.
I think it goes
small
above
niche.
Cyclizar a little bit because Orthworm at least can body press.
Earthworm walls Landoi.
Yeah,
That's what it does.
It walls Landoi. And it also has
True.
the funny body press set. The
Doesn't it
unfortunate
also
thing is that
wall Breloom?
you can hit it with a Moonblast from a Whimsicott and do 50%. And I have had that happen. It has no SPDF. I'm not going to mention the modifiers involved in that damage calculation. Okay. Howlithad. I looked at this before. Free home. It's definitely a Warrior World tier. Chore Up is really funny in the sand, but it also is not that good, and it doesn't really do anything.
We have a very special team. We have a very special team that ran this mon.
Didn't that team win a game? Hold on.
Yeah, Keanu brought it in World Cup.
Is the replay still alive? What? Oh, yeah.
I think he changed it. He changed his name recently too.
Hold on. He always used this account.
Keep going.
No, that's it. Bruh.
It's gone. It's gone.
I think it was after the... Actually, no, maybe not.
This is either World Cup or, like, Derby. This was
No, this was World Cup. Okay, it's gone. Bruh. Okay. I feel like that was the game. But it did win a game. Quite possibly one of the funniest teams ever built.
Revival Blessing. We were all there building the team.
But it was me who built it first, I think. It was someone like posted Palmot, and then I went in VC and I built it. It was a moment.
Double Shock is a cool move. Fake Out Coaching and Revival Blessing all do their thing with this guy.
It definitely has enough utility to see some use. Petulant. The entire point of the Cometeer was so we could put Petulant in it. Alright, Piloswine.
Peturant's a war criminal.
Piloswine is a certified Aragon Classic. That game was actually hilarious.
Yeah. It pains me that that replay was gone, because that was a really funny replay. That was like the last game before the wipe.
I think that was probably my favorite game that you played. This in terms of just like watching it back, it just looks so silly.
We almost watched this thing eat 2 facades from Ursaluna.
Do you still have the build, like the set that you used?
Yeah.
And even if he doesn't, I think I still have it. Yep, I still have this super hyper optimized EV set. Oh, it's here too.
I was cooking with this one.
To this day, I don't think I still
I
don't
just
think I've
recall like
optimized
this
the
Piloswine
Sprite as much
was.
as this.
I just recall that the Piloswine was like so unreasonably bulky.
Yeah. Yeah. Piloswine basically it has Rillaboom's HP stat, and then it has Rillaboom's defense and SpDef stats, and then you apply Eviolite to that. Like it has Rillaboom's defensive stat line -10 on the 2 defense stats, but then you apply Eviolite back over it. It's disgustingly bulky.
Yeah.
And great stabs. Great stabs. It did its thing.
The logs of this Pokemon are really funny. Hold on, let me find it.
Was that in the terminated chat though?
No.
That was.
This is well after that ever happened.
Let's see. Hold on, how do I pull this up? Let's see. Let's see.
You can open Discord in browser tab, I guess. But that's kind of weird.
It's not about to leak his entire Discord server list.
I have to get this pulled up. I will literally just open up a blank doc.
Snipping tool.
I already took I already took the screenshot.
Oh,
okay, I literally use this spreadsheet for everything. Everything funny. This is how it started. This is how it started.
This is quite literally what, like, all I can say is that this is like 90% of the all of the building interaction in that server, just summarized in one image.
Yeah, that's what makes it so good. That's what makes it so good.
If you ever wanted Haze plus Stealth Rocks, Piloswine's got you.
Facts. And also high horsepower for some reason. Okay.
Ironically enough, it would also do decently-ish into the current meta in terms of just like stat-wise, not like.
It's just got
amazing.
a great offensive typing.
Well, I mean, it does pretty well against. Not pretty well. It does pretty decently against Landorus. It can do decently against Gorilla. It can do decently against Instant. It's not like I'm gonna end up winning your games or anything. It's just gonna be like there.
All right, PZ. With this Pokemon, I think it's quite bad.
It's fallen from Gen 7.
But
I will summarize
like
this
it.
entire Pokemon in one phrase: adaptability, Terrablast. That's it.
Sigh. Okay.
Shadow
Chikorita?
itself in Gen 7. I love it.
This is a decent one. ESM really likes it. I think overall it's pretty good.
This is a really
I've seen
threatening Calm Mind
plenty
Sweeper.
of Primarina recently. I'm actually pretty impressed by what it can do.
It's a very threatening Calm Mind Sweeper. One of the best around partially because there's been such a shortage of them, but
Yeah.
this thing gets one Calm Mind up. Hyper Voice hurts.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised at how few people actually use it, because, as Chister just mentioned, it is really threatening. If you just let it get any, if you give it any breathing room.
All right. Let's see. Private.
That's instant tier 5.
this mon single-handedly
I'm
carried
just kidding.
the entire, like, the 6 NFE team that we
Is
have.
that what, do I wait? I might still have mine.
I think I'll put it in Certified Aragon Classic. I can't justify it in Tier 5, but this Pokemon is funny as hell.
Dude, the fact that we actually brought that 6 NFE team into like relatively high ladder and won games with it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I still have my team. Oh my god, here I can send you what mine looked like.
Drop the pace, yeah.
I still have mine pulled up too. And named the Piloswine on this team Aragon's son.
Right, I remember when we were in the call about the Piloswine. You quite literally, like, because we were just trying to figure out what to look like to something new. You quite literally said out loud, "Okay, let's go straight to let's see what we can find out of the NFE list."
That is in fact what I did.
Yep.
Alright. Quaquavel. I think this is bait, to be honest. This is
He's almost there.
bait. It's bait.
It is a really cool gimmick that it does, and it has rapid spin and decent coverage, but it's just not enough.
Yeah. Alright. Any guesses where this one's going?
This is a classic.
This is a classic. This is quite possibly the most successful like gimmick Pokemon that like in terms of like me promoting it, because like Bagel was helping me like build in that tournament, and by helping me build, I mean I barraged him with like 5 NFEs a day basically, but like I showed this mod to him, and he just started laddering with it on ladder. And you know when Bagel ladders, people notice. People were just like, "I just lost to Coolfish on ladder." I wonder who said that. And then and this actually ended up getting on the VR. Which
I remember
none of my other mods ever got to that level.
All I can say is I remember the time when Stall like randomly took over the entirety of the ladder. That was a really fun time, actually.
This mon was at the center
really
of it.
Funny team. Yeah.
Haze, Intimidate, Toxic Spikes, Fast Taunt, good signature move, decent attack with stuff like Gunk Shot. It has just the perfect move pool for what it wants to do and abuses Eviolite very well with just enough stat. And this placement can also we can compress Overquill into this placement right now too, because a few people are running Overquill on Rain with Swift Swim, funnily enough. I'm sure you guys have seen those games. Overquill is not on the list, unfortunately.
Okay,
Because Quillfish.
I would have put it in like
Quillfish
Trauma tier, just because it was on the Test Hubtat team.
By the way, I found the team, so you can look that for it.
Oh my goodness.
Now we were just messing around with the NFEs, which is the reason why we just had a bunch of like really stupid stuff here. But then we actually had like the Primate, which was an actual set that we were like trying to like brainstorm.
Yeah, this was a really funny Pokemon.
Destiny Bond Quillfish carried this team.
Oh my god, this takes me back. Okay. Rabska.
This mon has a signature move in this gen, but it's not the one you think it is.
That's so true. For those who are uninitiated, this Pokemon's signature move is not Revival Blessing, but Skill Swap coming off of 45 base speed. Let that sink in. This is not bad. I think it's bait, but like it's towards the top of bait probably.
It clicks
I'm a
Trick
fan.
Room.
It clicks Trick Room. It has decent bulk, but it's not as good as Palmot because Palmot has like so much utility to justify it in small niche, and Rapska doesn't have enough to quite justify that.
Yeah, I think it's just people who would want either Rabsca or Palmot are looking for a Revival Blessing, and Rabsca just isn't it for most randoms.
Yeah.
Hello, Keanu. Welcome to the Shipmons tier list.
Yo, what's
We
good?
are ranking
We're still
all
here
of the
before
heat
your beloved
that
Keanu, so you have time to get ready for us to start trashing on it when it comes up.
Damn, that's crazy.
I took the time today to conglomerate all of the heat that we have used in this generation into one tier list.
Yep. Alright. Raichu. This is like...
The Keanu tier.
Like
The Gallade.
I think
I
Raichu's
like Raichu.
it's pretty bad. There's like barely any reason to use Lightning Rod. I don't really have anything else to say. Raichu
Maybe
is
if
so
Raichu
Actually,
Raichu
cool.
Lightning Rod could be really funny now because of Electroshock, but you know.
It would be really good into like some of the raid teams, I guess.
Funny
I
ass
could see
move
that.
pool. This guy. Funny ass
Now,
move
of course,
pool.
we have no proof that it would actually do anything, but I just thought it worth mentioning.
That's actually a good point, though. I'm gonna keep that in
Shout
mind
out
for the
to
future.
Shout out to the Pikachu game.
For real. Alright. Raikou. This Pokemon's pretty bad. I think it's top of Warrior World. Like, it has, like, a few stats, but, like, Raging Bolt is better, etc., etc.
Over the
Red
past
Ice?
like year and a half, the only time I've ever seen Raikou was in old gens. So
Yeah, it's legitimate. It's quite solid in, like, DPP metagame, if I recall correctly. It's
would-
also good in, like, GSC singles. Although it's
I would just like
arguably
to
falling off.
say, I would just like to say it's genuinely insulting that Game Freak took Rising Voltage and made it a signature move of Raging Bolt instead of giving it to this guy. Just to throw it a bone.
Yeah, that's actually really sad. Alright,
I mean,
Regice, bad. This is bad, bad, bad.
he wishes he could be Registeel.
It wishes
For
it could be
real.
Articuno. That's like this thing is a budget Articuno. You're gonna load up Blizzard with Choice Specs and Terra Ice, and click that. But worse.
Wait, low key? Wait, hold on. Is he cooking?
I think its only saving grace is, of course, just the fact that we use Intimidate so much that it can get away with the fact that its defense side is relatively. It's like
I
its
won't
physical
lie.
bulk is relatively middling when we
It
talk
has
about
better
Reggies.
stats, it's just lower, and doesn't have freeze dry like Articuno does.
We also have the snow, I guess, to help pad its defensive stat. So
This is the only thing it's gonna do in this gen. This is the only reason I even put it on this list, is because I realize it can do this.
I think it's just too slow to do the same thing as. Okay, I'll put it slightly higher. I'll put it in small niche actually,
let's put it
but it is just
close
worse
to the bottom of
Articuno.
it, though. I think the primary concern with it is just the fact that Blizzard doesn't hit everything it needs to.
Yeah. Were you gonna say something, Keanu?
Yeah. I literally just faced this on the VGC ladder, and I did almost lose to a low Ninetales, a
Oh,
Trick
no.
Room variant. So
Oh no.
almost lost. It's
Don't
not
even
bad.
have- Does it even have 4 moves?
No.
You click Focus Blast and Zap Cannon. Fuck it.
Let's go! 50-50 rolls, we love them.
Hey man, the Articuno set that won a regional. Click Sheer Cold. We can take
It's a-
50-50 rolls.
You do hit slightly harder, and you are a little bit bulkier on the special side.
A lot a bit bulkier.
Oh yeah, okay, never mind. But you are sacking it for the speed. But
He says a
I can
little
actually
bit.
see
With
this.
the Pokemon that has like the highest Spadef stat in the game.
Yeah. Well, Articuno, decent Spadef stat as well. Alright, Aleki. This is trying to be certified Aragon Classic, but it's just not there, so it's probably bait.
Yeah, I've always seen. I feel like ever since the start of this gen, I've seen Regieleki as like bait, just on account of the fact that it's just in such a large shadow from its Dolphin Gen 8.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll put it in small niche. I think like the speed stat could be useful at some point, but it's like
I feel like
I
the
don't know.
biggest problem is just the fact that it doesn't work very well into anything that is currently meta. Like, it just doesn't work into anything meta right now. Like all you have is Electroweb to support, and that doesn't even help against Lando Eye. So
yeah, I agree. I do think like this is biased. I think it's better than a lot of the mons down here. Like I'd use it before I'd use like Cetitan, you know. All right, Regirock. This is probably bait. I think it has like maybe some niche use case, so I'm not gonna put it in Worry Whirl, but I think it's pretty bad.
The only thing it's gonna do is get coached while having an assault vest and using Clear Body.
Like only because of I would argue that it would be like just below like classic, exclusively because it doesn't work now.
Fair enough.
If we made this list, like if we could have made this list like a month and a half ago or so, this would definitely be pretty decently well into classic, because it just really good Iron Press combined with the fact that Flutter really like that if you can position it well, Flutter will just make it easier to build on.
Yeah, fair. Reuniclus, this is probably bait. I feel like you could probably use this on TR a little bit, but I don't think it's small niche. I'll put it like up here.
I've seen people run
expanding force.
I've seen people run stored power Reuniclus before. That was a very janky team, and I lost to it once, only on account of both not knowing what the team was doing, and because he got like 3 lucky crits.
W. Hyperior? Probably bait, to be honest. It's like you can do funny weakness policy stuff with this, but not really much else.
I have in fact had my ass kicked on ladder by that good Terra abuser because of Solid Rock.
I think I beat you with that.
Damn, that's crazy.
Do you want to acknowledge this mod? I don't know if he does.
My goat.
That isn't the Keanu tier.
My goat. Yeah, you could put that Keanu tier. I almost brought that to your regional, so.
Keanu's bailing Aragon out from his
He
sins.
legitimately almost brought it to a regional. I can assure you that if he did bring it to a regional, he probably would have done really well with it exclusively on account of the fact that he's just a good player.
Yeah, it's a decent one.
Brought it to the MSS and I got top 10.
Well, again, Riolu is also another support Pokemon that relies heavily on just reads.
Prankster coaching, faint. It does its thing.
I would rather not discuss my history with this Pokemon. Okay, Sableye. funny prankster. Probably bait. Pre-home mess.
Prankster Will-O-Wisp, really good in Dubers. Really, really good in Dubers.
Which is so random, but like it makes sense. Okay. Salamence. Small niche, I think. Like, Flight is a good type. It has stats, but it's outclassed by a lot of things, so this is probably the right tier for it. Intimidate as well.
Special attacking Intimidate is a useful niche.
Alright. Hisui and Samurott. Probably, I think this is bait. Unfortunately,
I've run into Hisui Samurott a couple times in the past week. Its damage definitely feels underwhelming. Like there have been
When I have
times where
95 attack,
yeah, it's
105.
it's there have been many times where a person goes for an attack from Hisui and Samurott on one of my Pokemon around at like 70%, and it just doesn't do enough. Like it always like undershoots by like 10%. So it's like
yeah.
it just feels like it needs a little bit more in order for it to be able to do something.
They didn't change its stats enough to make it viable, unfortunately.
It didn't change its stats at all.
Yeah. No, they
Sort
did.
of
They did.
I thought no, they split.
They swapped attack and special attack and moved a little bit of HP into speed. So it's definitely better than Samurott, but they didn't swap it enough to make it like viable in a doubles context. In singles, this one is obviously quite solid, and I definitely like don't think this is the worst Pokemon out there, but like it's just quite underwhelming.
I respect it.
I respect
it, especially with the buffs that it got.
All right, this is peak Arctic Blast bait. Okay. Sir,
I use the cool sprite for this guy.
Yeah, that's a good sprite. This is definitely Yugo tier. I would have put it in like tier 5 or like small beach with Flutter in the tier, but unfortunately now there's not really much of a reason. All right, Scrafty. I think this is. It's probably bait, to be honest. I don't know.
When I see Scrafty, all I can think of is that it seems a lot like very similar to Hitmontop.
Yeah.
Better Hitmontop.
No, Hitmontop actually better. Gotta be honest. I think Scrafty just meh. That's just meh. Okay. Screamtail. This is probably tier 5 or classic. Which one do I want to put it in though? I think I'm gonna put it in tier 5. This is probably too good for a classic.
I think that anytime Screamtail is in a game, it is a problem. There's no easy way to get rid of it. There's no single mon that can just remove it from the game now with Fluttermane gone. The closest is Goldango. Like that's the only mon that really ruined its time.
Doesn't Terra Poison Lando deal with it?
Yes.
Yeah.
However, you can protect and then disable it. This Pokemon has just like so many tools. Okay, let's see. Cypher? Oh god. Do you know the lore about this one? Is that why you put it here? I can't remember if I ever told you.
Know.
Oh god. This thing sat in my like
ideas
of things I wanted to use. This is like this sat in my builder for like 3 months like a year ago, and I never brought it. It's like so close to be the usable NFE, but it's just not there. Not even then. Alright, Superior. You could probably do funny contrary things with this, but also like Enamorus is probably better for that. I'll put it in small niche just because Leaf Storm is obviously quite simple to disagree, and Terra benefits a little bit, and you can support it, but also the stats are just not there. Like this Pokemon stats are so like bad. Like
I remember letting a Superior set up 3 Leaf Storms on me before, and then the next Leaf Storm that came in still only did like, what was it, 80 to 90 to my Landoi?
Yeah,
or something like that. I was like, it just looked really like not right.
It has to stack a lot of boosts before it really does anything, and that's kind of its issue. And also, low key, its problem is Leaf Storm has like no PP, so you can't really switch out. Okay.
I'll call this mon a fraud in singles, to be honest.
Fair. Skyman.
like
Oh man. Real ones remember when Skyman was when Darkrai was legal for like 2 days. This Pokemon was like tier 4 or tier 3. And honestly, like, you could do worse than this mon. I'll put it in small niche. It's fast. Seed Flare is a good move. It pairs nicely with other special attackers. Air Slash,
Serene
funny.
base.
Yeah.
it is a Tailwind user of all time.
Like basically with this Pokemon, you have like 70% accurate fake tears that also does 120 base power. When you actually think about it.
Is a
Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, I like this Pokemon. It's also a Tailwind setter. It's not good per se, but like you can use it. Okay. Shiftry, Brambleghast, Arctic Blast Bait.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's really all you have to say.
This is small niche probably. This Pokemon is like
It's funny because I feel like Dirge
Funny.
is better in Goobers than it is in DOU.
probably.
you're not even wrong.
This one
It
is something. Okay. Oh god.
Metacham.
Medicham. Okay. Slitherwing? Yeah, this Pokemon's not even good enough to justify the Comet tier. Think about that. Okay. Slitherwing?
Oh, they don't know. Aragon cleared his builder, and this is where he keeps the dead remains of the old days.
The dead remains of the old days is crazy, but also true. Where the fuck does the team start and end?
That's a good question.
Oh, it actually.
Wow, that actually
Perfectly.
works.
I'm surprised that Terra Type 100. My favorite.
Yes, my favorite.
So it
type.
didn't work perfectly.
They got most of it.
What's Terra
But
Fire
yes.
that you ran?
This is. Wait, was it? Oh yeah.
The Terra Fire to boost the flame charge.
Also resist Flutter. Oh my god.
Hold
Might
up,
be-
you ran Body Press?
This is so utterly bad. There are just no words to describe it. But this was in fact a set I built. And as such, I have to be like slightly biased for it.
Slitherwing is cool. It's just cool. I got nothing against them on.
I think you could probably run first impression stuff with this and it could be kind of fun. I'll put it in the bottom of small niche. Oh, Slowking, these are kind of the same.
This applies to both forms of these mons, by the way.
Okay. I'll put Slowking higher then, because it seems some use from Schuster there. And Chili Reception is like interesting. But really both of these are not that good, in my opinion. Okay. Sneasler?
Only
Schuster, what do you want to say about this Pokemon?
It actually got worse when Flutter was removed from the tier.
Dax. I'll put it at the bottom of small niche. I kind of like it. It's a Pokemon.
Its typing is really, really good at beating in Cinderella and helping coaching with coaching to run over those kinds of cores.
Yeah. Snorlax. This is probably Arctic Blast Bait, I think. It's like
Shout out to Brief Marigold.
The goat.
Can't wait to see the comments on this video talking about my game versus D.
Oh no. Oh no. But it's just like not too bad, but I also don't think it's like really has much of a niche in the tier. Alright, Spectre.
Win with Belly Drum.
Where do I want to put this? I think it's small niche. It sets up niche really well. However, like, I also don't really think it's particularly good. It's in the middle of the pack here, in my opinion.
This is like the mon among all these mons that feels like it should be better than it is.
Yeah. Stantler.
You put this here for the lore.
This thing doesn't have any niche anymore, though.
Not anymore, but man, this thing with Annihilate.
That might be the most overcooked synergy of all time. But it pairs so well.
Hey,
Man.
it still works now. It won me my games in Wigglytuff. Until I threw.
I'll put it at the bottom of Certified Aragon Classic just because this is probably going in the thumbnail. Okay. Staraptor, it was on the one team. With her
Yeah,
final
would you
gambit.
like to talk about this
If
Pokemon?
you know, you know.
A lot of
Ooh,
I don't know
pressure
how I
you put
made
on
this
Keanu to bring that team. And then it worked.
Bro, that's just destroyed him.
That was
Ask
one of the best
final
Wait, you
gambit.
run?
Yeah. That was one of the teams
When
of
did
all
you do
time.
that? I don't remember.
It was World Cup. We brought it against Toxagen. So basically,
And-
like, we had this team lying around, and we were like, if we secure pools, someone needs to bring this team. And then Keanu had the opportunity to, and he did it, and then he won, because he's just that good. What actually happened
He
in the game, I
definitely
think, was Ursaluna just swept. But
Yep. Crest Bear.
this is top of Worry World, probably. It actually can do a few things. It's not too bad a mod. I think it was ESM that suggested
really
this
good team.
on the original team. Let's see.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
and
really good.
we
niche
were
for room.
pining for it.
Sojourner. Oh, I have a history with this mod, but it's really old. I think you could probably actually use this a little bit. Power Spot's really nice, actually. He's probably Arctic Blast bait. I can just imagine someone passing Arctic Blast to a team that has Stonejourner on it.
I've seen it many times.
Yeah.
I've seen many stone James in that chat.
Okay. Suicune. I like this mod a lot.
I actually think pretty.
Only.
Yeah.
I'll put it at the top of small niche. I like. This should probably be run a little bit more. Unfortunately, it has a bad matchup into Rillaboom and Wellspring. But it is a bulky Tailwind setter. Actually, probably one of the better ones. You could run Calm Mind. You can run Snarl. It has utility. Icy Wind, Scald, as always. Actually, does it have Scald?
Yes, it has
Okay,
Scald.
it does.
Okay.
If I recall correctly, most of the Pokemon that lost Scald were not legendaries.
Fair enough. There's one mod that doesn't have Scald. I can't remember what it is. Yeah, that's decent. Alright. Swampert. Oh, man. About, like, 2 weeks ago, Shister and I were looking at this mod.
I've never been so disappointed by anything on this list.
It literally has Incineroar stats and God typing, and somehow manages to be ass. That's what no ability
Give
does
this-
to a Pokemon.
Give my boy an actual ability, please.
What would actually work for
Probably
this?
also a moose that befits it too.
What would work for this?
Like, if we were gonna rework Swampert, you could probably just. I don't know.
Guts.
Oh, Guts would be interesting. I mean, honestly, if you give it Sap Sipper, that might be too. That would be like the overcooked answer, but like that would make it pretty solid because you're so bulky with no weaknesses. It wouldn't even still be top tier but like, it'd be interesting at least. Okay. Sylveon. This is like close to a classic, but I don't think it's quite there. So I'll put it in small niche. I've run this a few times. I still like it. But like,
Pine for tier 5 Sylph. There's quite a few semi-room users with this guy.
I don't think it's that good, unfortunately. I don't know. I could see it, maybe. I think I like it better at the top of small niche.
I can't like I think I
I'll
just
put it
have
tier
like
five.
I think I personally just have this weird mental image of Sylveon where it's like all I see is just pre-DLC, and that's all I can like see it doing something in.
Yeah, I kind of get that too.
I think
it was a lot better.
I think it's just like a weird, just like bias thing, but I personally don't see it doing very much outside of just non-DLC.
It is one of the better fairy types, unfortunately. I'll put it at the bottom of tier 5, I guess. Okay.
Crazy how we have 3 fairy types in tier 5.
Yeah.
It's almost as though fairy type's a good typing.
Okay. Talonflame. Oh. I've messed around with this one a fair amount. I think it's probably a small niche. But it has a few sets. It clicks Tailwind.
Yeah, I mean, like pre-DLC, it was better pre-DLC, or pre-home actually.
Shout out to Game Freak for giving us Mon upper hand for some reason.
That is so funny.
And it having the speed, it has the speed tier to consistently make use of it.
That's great.
All right, Water Tauros. I could be
feel
really
like water
funny
and
and put
fire
this in.
Tauros are
I
like
could be
the same
really
tier.
funny and put this in Arctic Blast bait. Because he had a team with this Pokemon that was actually really, really good. It's like one of my favorite SV teams, actually. Let me pull that up really quickly. But this was like home metagame. Let's see.
I really like Paldean Tauros.
I see Anger Point, and all I can think of is the fact that this thing has still yet to ever one-shot one of my Pokemon.
Yeah, but that's not the good set.
Oh
We
my God,
had Pokemon music.
This guy posts. This guy does too much for the community. I can't search for his posts. SMH. Hold on, where is it?
I have a marshmallow.
Yeah, this one. Almost missed it, but this was a really solid team. I'm actually still a big fan of this team. It was very well put together, and it worked for a while. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna put this up. I still like this Pokemon. I have to put it in Arctic Blast bait because there's nowhere else. And also it just fits perfectly. Although the fire one, oh my God, talk about outclassed. This Pokemon is outclassed by Arcanine, and that's already an Arctic Blast bait. This is the bottom of Worry Whirl. Okay. Tentacruel? Oh God. This one's pretty recent, I think, in terms of us free-crafting it, but it's still definitely Worry Whirl. It doesn't do anything. Okay. Terrakion.
Aragon Classic.
Is it?
No,
Come on, if you know the lore.
I hate this Pokemon.
If you know the freaking lore, I still remember how excited you were back then.
This Pokemon is the only reason I play competitive Pokemon. So back like damn near a decade ago now, which is crazy to say. So this is like I don't know, 5th grade or 6th grade or something. Ray and
I'm
I
pretty
used to
sure
play.
it was.
Probably. I think it was XY days though. It was XY days, so it had to be 5th grade. So,
Okay.
Ray and I used to play triple battles because we liked pulling out our Kyogres and our Groudons and our Rayquazas, and thinking we were good at the game. And I would often play triple battles on my own time. It was my favorite battle format. Still, actually, probably my favorite. It's honestly like a little bit less complex than doubles because you have less Pokemon in the back, but it's still a metagame that I liked a lot. But anyways, I'd pull up to like triple battles on cartridge, of course, with my like team of like 6 legendaries, or maybe like 5 legendaries. It's probably like a Blaziken or something. And I played this guy. And this guy was running Whimsicott plus Terrakion. And he put the Terrakion in the center slot. I did not know. And I proceeded to get 6-0'd by Rock-like Terrakion. And that was the first competitive Pokemon interaction where like that I actually ever witnessed. It was the first strategy I ever like saw. And so I still remember that all these years later. And I think it was one of the few things that actually made me interested in like looking more into competitive Pokemon. Starting in Gen 7 a little bit. Not really, but this Pokemon it's going in there just for the lore. If I had to rank this, actually, it'd probably be like Arctic Blast Bait or Small Niche. But
Yeah. I also remember how
lore.
it was. I also remember how it was through there that I learned about Gut Swallow back then. And then we proceeded to see what it would do to a Lugia.
And it did like 70%.
Through was it through multi? Did you have multi-scale on it at the time? I don't think
Yeah, it had multi-skill. And this
Also,
wasn't. I don't even think it was properly EV'd. I can't remember how
Neither
we got
were
the modifiers
Pokemon were EV'd,
so high. Yeah.
Bro, that was before that's before we even knew what natures did.
Yeah, that's facts. Okay. Thundurus Incarnate, I think this is probably tier 5. It can do funny stuff with Enamorus. I don't think this is like the way you really want to run this mod, but Eerie Impulse is really annoying in general. These Pokemon,
Eerie Impulse.
they're together, but
Ruins
they're not
Lando.
here. They're not here because I think you should pair them together. I think Enamorus is better off just as a spec set. And I think Thundurus is better off just spreading T-Wave with speed control and being annoying.
Yeah, they definitely do better separately than together, in my opinion.
Yeah, because you stack flying types, and you can't afford to run any other kind of flying type to quick Tailwind.
Yep. Click Eerie Impulse on Landorus. It's so funny.
That is one of the funniest interactions in the game. Alright, Thundurus-Therian.
Rainbreaker. Maybe.
I like this one. I like this one. I'll say it's small niche. It has a lot of special attack, and it speed ties Lando Eye. You can also run Weather Ball. It's not bad. It's definitely worse than the other one, but I think this one's usable.
Last I checked, I've seen this used once, and that game, like Thundy Eye, like slaughtered their team.
Yeah, I've seen this used like once or twice. It's solid, in my opinion. Alright, Tinkaton. Small niche. The typing's really good, and that's really the only reason. The fake out's nice, and the move is funny, but really you're just here for the AV fake out set is pretty solid, and you can't be intimidated with own tempo. You can also run Mold Breaker, but I think the own tempo is better because you don't get intimidated, and you actually do hit things pretty hard with Gigaton Harrier. So I like this mod a little bit. I don't think it's like particularly like great, but like I don't know. All right,
Good feint clicker.
This is probably Arctic Blast Bait. I don't think this Pokemon really has much of a niche. But at the same time, it has Regenerator, and I think it's slightly better than the Worry Whirl ones. What do you guys think?
It's really fast.
Yeah, that too. We crafted this once.
You could maybe do some funny stuff with this thing being a rain sweeper, but then again, I'd rather use the wild Pokemon a tier above here.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. This mod is really cool in singles. I don't know if he's quite cut for doubles.
Alright. Torterra, this is definitely Arctic Blast bait as a starter. It has funny Shell Smash, but you can't really get away with that in doubles. But also, like, it's not that bad. It can match up well to a few things.
I was also going to mention that even with the Shell Smash, it doesn't really one-shot or even two-shot a lot of like major threats right now.
Yeah.
Yanu, would you like to recite what this mon did in VGC for a couple of weeks if you're here? Because it wasn't Shell Smash.
Sorry, what mon? I was doing something.
Torterra.
Oh my
There's
God.
something like this, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember
Shell
what the last-
armor and amnesia. It had amnesia.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it was for like a week.
Bro just wants to get red seal, let's be honest.
This was the pinnacle of being really, really fucking annoying with body press users in VGC. This gen. If it works, So it can do this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
It-
pretty bad. It's
it's-
Arctic Blast bait though. Okay.
more defensive
Hex.
Chesnaught.
Hmm.
I've been goobed by this one so many times.
I think nowadays it would probably be Worry World.
The funny
It's-
one.
Yeah, it's
It-
definitely workable.
It's just like I feel like stall doesn't work very well.
It's not even like it clicks wide guard, but then Landau just clicks Earth Power anyway, and it dies. Okay,
Just better.
Trapinch. Chester told me he put this in here because I built it once, and I can't even remember doing that, but I believe it's something I would do. It has Arena Trap, and it's actually probably better than Dark Trio, so I'll put it in Arctic Blast bait.
I remember that team, and I don't even remember what you did with it, to be honest.
It definitely didn't get used, but it probably got, like,
Ma-
proposed. Let's see.
What he did with it was make me very upset.
I do that a lot. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's not in here. I must have deleted the team. Let's
Yeah.
look at Westcord. Let's look at Westcord. Let's see. It has no mentions of... Okay, it must have been Derby then. Was it even in the game during Derby?
I think so.
Okay, it must have been... Okay, we probably just discussed it in a
No
video
mentions of
call, or
Derby,
like a
so-
voice call. Probably. It probably had to be in the VC. Let's see. Okay. But I do think it could be funny, because, like... Wait, actually, hold on. Maybe I was cooking.
Wait, why does it even have it? Why does it have an attack stat?
It has a... What the hell? What is it even clicking? Hold on.
EQ?
Stealth Rock. Protect to stall, because that's what you do. Probably Scorching Sands. Low-key.
You accidentally hit Sleep Top.
Oh.
I'm in pain.
Where's Stone Edge to hit Torn? Protect.
Doesn't it get Earthquake?
Click send to double trap your mon.
Oh god, the stats are so bad. Oh man.
Sand tube so that it traps the ghost type.
Like I said, this mon made me very upset when you showed me a team with it. I'm pretty sure I convinced you to delete that team.
Probably. I could see this being really funny. Okay. Typhlosion-Hisui. This has gotta be bait, right?
This is a ladder classic.
Yeah.
Cool
It's
mon
in the
though.
middle. Yeah. It's a nice
I don't
fast
remember
eruption
having fun
user,
just
but like,
messing around with fast eruption.
it's not... there's just so many better fire types, but it's funny.
Also,
Umbreon,
again, rain.
this is definitely bait again. I think. Okay.
I will give Umbreon points for being able to single-handedly make games last an extra 15 turns.
True. Why is the shiny here? Is that to emphasize how bad it is?
It's to emphasize the mistakes that were made with this mon.
Or someone
No,
was mainly use that.
I think it's to
World Cup.
emphasize the fact that it got flinched at the worst time. What was it that happened? I forget.
The Mew got
Was it
Hydro
flinch or
Pump
was it?
crit. The Mew got
It
Hydro
was
Pump
crit.
quit.
That's what it was. Yeah. You won. You won if that did not happen. Yeah.
What team did we make in World Cup that we almost ran this?
I don't.
Because I have
know,
a team with that for
It's
World Cup.
after. It's
This is
definitely
Derby,
after
right?
We're making
World
it
Cup.
VC.
This is like Derby
Like I
plus
think
like World
there-
Cup a year
I was
ago.
there when you. I was like watching that game. I recall. So like it was Derby, I think.
It was Derby. Yeah.
This thing somehow has it somehow makes Ursaluna's item slot problem worse. Like you wanna abuse Guts, but the whole point of running this is to have Eviolite on a mon that's almost as bulky as Ursaluna with the same attack stat.
Yeah, true. That makes sense. Yuxi, I like this as a Trick Room setter. It's not good, but like I like it, so small niche. It also comes with mystical power, so it's like slightly less passive than Craft, because you can like stack a couple boosts if they like ignore you. It's not good, but like it's not useless, if I had to say. Okay, Venusaur. This Pokemon is pretty bad.
I want to say this one feels like bait / small niche.
Yeah.
It's outclassed.
Yeah,
The
it's
sleep
outclassed.
powder it's the chlorophyll grass type niche has been surpassed by a mon that is still barely tier 5.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better. Volcarona. This is simultaneously three
My
tiers at
goat.
once. This is simultaneously Keanu tier, simultaneously tier 5, and simultaneously certified Oregon Classic. But I think because the highest tier could go in is tier 5, I'll put it in tier 5. Click Clover Dance. I've done a lot of funny things with this one. Keanu's done one funny thing with this one over and over. Has a few things you
Rage
can
powder
do.
tailwind.
I've used it for-
I made it popular in VGC again.
I've run Cloak, Quiver Dance, that won a game. I ran Citrus, Tailwind, Rage Powder stuff. And I've also just run like Grassy Seed. It's
regarding
decent.
what Keanu's Volcarona escapades, SAC regionals. I recall SAC regionals. It was like what 2-3 shots from a rock slide from a Landowai to kill.
3 rock slides. No Intim.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was like it was ridiculously bulky on that.
This
on
is
that
a, this is a PSA to use Stone Edge on your Landorus.
It might crit for the
Rock
Grassy Seed
slide.
boost. No, just kidding. Okay. Let's see. Weavile.
You know why this
Oh,
is here?
man. Why is this here? Draft League
This
or
is
something?
no. This is here because there were 3 ladder users that showed up in pre-home and used this and Breloom lead for about 5 months on the ladder, and they have traumatized me. So Weavile is here because it somehow anti-meta lead everything. Like
That is,
it-
I
it-
can confirm. I've run into those players too. They like destroy your lead matchup, but then the rest of their team sucks.
This is definitely Arctic Blast bait. This is like someone like, I want to use my favorite Pokemon, and then they like ping Arctic Blast, and they're like, can you fix my team? And then Arctic Blast goes, what are you doing? Run Infant. And then the Weavile goes bye-bye. And then they win 5 games instead of 2. Okay. Oh, I hate this Pokemon. I just hate this Pokemon.
I want to call Worry World because of the fact that Nintendo inadvertently nerfed it.
Yeah. You know what? We'll do that, because it's funny as hell. You know what? We're going to save a certain Pokemon for last year. Why are there 2 Lurantises? Okay, I think
that last one You can pretend whatever you want with that. That's your honorary slot for whatever wasn't on the list.
Fair enough. This is probably like small niche. You can do superpowered jank with it. And it's kind of funny. Like, wasn't it on the ESM team? I think? Yeah.
Yes.
It was. He ran it. Yeah, it was on the ESM thing where he ran a bunch of
This
things.
was the win condition.
Yeah, it checks out.
It
Alright.
destroyed most of the team, yeah.
Belly Bolt. This is Arctic Blast Bait, pre-home jank. And it wasn't even DOU then. But I'm a little bit partial to it. Alright, Zapdos, I really like this Pokemon. Bulky Tailwind Setter. I'll put it in small niche. Towards the top.
I
think this Pokemon's underrated.
I got shit on by this mon on ladder today. Someone running Scarf max speed Zapdos with Thunder and Hurricane on a rain team.
Bro, that's crazy. It's a funny one. Alright, saving the GOAT for last. I think there's only one tier this can go into, even if I do think it's tier 5. It has to go here.
In my opinion, there's technically 2, because the only reason why you even used that team in VGC was because I jokingly told you to use it.
But my history with this Pokemon goes farther back than that. I have never lost a team tour game with this Pokemon. And I have brought it 6 times. I brought it twice in last World Cup. Won both times. One of which we don't talk about because I won on the timeout. I brought it once in World Cup the year before. Won a game. Won with the Annihilate Stantler team. Brought it in DPL once. Where it paired with Sylveon and did a very good job. Won the game. I brought it in BLT. Again, one time. Paired it with that one.
Was that the Palafin team?
It's the bulk up Palafin team with Wotian, Tinglu, Quillfish, Hisui, Goldango, and Rillaboom, I want to say. And it was really good on that team. Big contributor to why that team worked. Paired really nicely with the janky Goldango set we had on it. And then I brought it one time in Derby, in Nat Dex. And unfortunately that replay is lost to time, but that's actually one of my favorite teams I've ever built. It just had a lot of Pokemon on it that I liked. So this Pokemon, I have 6-0 with it in Team Tours. So there's only
You're
one
missing
tier I
one.
can go to. Am I? Which one?
The game with Piloswine.
No, that was one of the first two.
Was it?
Yeah. I brought it with the Piloswine.
Upgrade Pride.
And then I brought it. Well, I didn't explicitly say it. I brought it in World Cup twice. Once with Piloswine, and once with Combine Fluttermane. So
Yeah, and then also
I had 33% usage of Wotian in that tournament.
On top of just that as well, you also went 6-3 in Fresno with it, and only went 6-3 because of the fact that you got you got matched up in one of the last rounds.
It would have been really cool if I could have day 2'd that. That's honestly like, I really should have just asked someone to help me fix my Terra types. Because that was legitimately the only reason why I did not day 2. That team was heat as hell. That team had no right to work, but it was like well constructed enough that it could probably have made day 2 with some better luck and with like better Terras on it. So yeah.
And not running into Zachary Thornburg.
Yeah, that's true. We don't talk about that guy. Worry Whirl. Okay. So yeah, that's the tier list.
Ordered list.
This is
we have 10 top slots. That's actually very nice.
Yeah, I think this is pretty good. Hope you enjoyed the video. Pretty lighthearted here. Any last thoughts? Any mons that should have been included? I don't know. There could have been some other
free Sandy Shocks.
Facts.
There were a lot of Paradox mons that I refrained from putting on this list because there was just so many.
Iron Forge could have gone on here probably.
If there was one, I think the only one I can think of would be Iron Bundle.
Oh yeah.
Well, that one's on the actual. That one's on the actual VR video.
It is?
Yeah,
That one's
it's
on.
like tier 4
yeah,
or
it's
something.
there.
Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for everyone for hopping on. This was really funny. And now you figure out where to post this screenshot. GG.
Go down and save it.
No.
GG.
GG.